All right, let's dive deep into Tony Robbins' Money. Master the game.
Yeah, this book's a beast.
It is. But don't worry, we're going to break it down for you. We'll pull out those core principles, help you really grasp how to reach financial freedom.
That's the goal.
And you know what's cool is Robbins doesn't just rehash the same old budgeting tips, right?
No, he digs way deeper.
He brings in these titans like Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio.
Oh, yeah, getting advice straight from the legends.
Even if you're not super into finance, you've probably heard those names.
For sure, they're icons.
Yeah.
And Robbins makes their wisdom surprisingly easy to understand.
Okay, so big picture. What's the first thing Robbins wants us to get?
Well, he's big on this idea that financial freedom, it starts with a decision. You got to take charge, Don't let your money control you.
Love that. No more feeling helpless, like just along for the ride.
Right, exactly. Grab the wheel.
Exactly. And I think a big part of that is like Robbins talks about this abundance mentality.
Yeah, overcoming that fear, that scarcity feeling.
Believing there's enough wealth to go around.
And honestly, it's about shifting your mindset to actually attract it.
So it's almost like instead of feeling like you're always fighting for scraps, you start seeing opportunity everywhere, like changing how you view money completely.
Yeah, like putting on a new pair of glasses.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets really interesting. A lot of our financial struggles, they come from those deep down beliefs, those patterns we have. If you're always operating from scarcity, it's hard to make choices that lead to abundance.
Totally. It's like if you think you'll never own a home,
Right.
why even bother saving for a down payment?
Exactly. Your beliefs can become self-fulfilling prophecies.
They really can. So how does Robbins help us make sense of this whole complicated money system we're in?
His second big point is all about understanding the rules of the game. He's like straight up exposes those hidden fees, those traps.
You mean like those sneaky service charges that appear out of nowhere?
Exactly. You think you're getting a deal, then bam, hit with a bunch of extra costs.
Happens all the time.
Robbins gives you that knowledge to avoid those pitfalls.
Yeah.
Make smart choices.
It's informed choices, yeah. All right, so you've taken control, you get the game, what's next?
This is where it gets down to the nitty-gritty. Saving and investing the right way.
Okay.
Robbins, he's big on this classic idea, pay yourself first.
I've heard that before.
So before bills, anything else, put some money aside. Savings, investments.
Sounds simple enough, but I bet it takes a lot of discipline.
It does, but Robbins argues it's crucial for building that long-term wealth. And he goes into different strategies to help your money actually grow, like diversification. It's spreading your bets. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Stocks, bonds, real estate, a mix.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket, for sure. But how do you know, like, which bets to make?
Well, Robbins gives you some guidance on that, too. Different investment approaches, figuring out your risk tolerance, all that.
Okay, so we're diversifying. What else?
He's a big fan of index funds. They're low cost, and they track a specific market index, like the S&P 500.
So like owning a tiny piece of the entire stock market.
Exactly. You're not trying to pick individual winners. You're betting on the overall market.
Okay.
And this is where things get exciting. Compounding.
Compounding. Sounds kind of scary.
No, it's pretty simple. Imagine your money earns interest, right? Then that interest earns more interest, and so on.
Like a snowball effect.
Exactly. Robbins calls it the eighth wonder of the world for a reason. Even small investments, if they're consistent, can grow huge over time.
So it's not just about putting away tons of money. It's about starting early and letting that time do its thing.
Exactly. The earlier you start, the bigger that snowball gets.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to long-term planning, Robbins' fourth principle is building a lifetime income plan.
Okay, what does that mean?
Basically, having enough passive income to cover your expenses without relying on a job.
Ooh, so like reaching financial independence.
Exactly. Freedom to live life on your own terms.
That's a powerful goal, but how do you even figure out how much money you need for that?
Robbins wants you to think about your financial freedom number.
Financial freedom number.
Yeah. How much would you need to live your dream life, no more working?
Wow. I don't think most people ever even consider that.
It's a big question.
Yeah.
But once you have that number, you can start planning to get there.
I see. And that's where learning from those who've already made it big comes in, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which takes us right into Robbins' fifth principle.
So we're talking about learning from the greats, which Robbins, he really digs into this.
Oh, yeah.
He's talked to so many incredible investors, and he shares their wisdom throughout the book.
It's like a masterclass.
It really is. And what's cool is he doesn't push just one approach.
Nope.
It's all these different perspectives, different strategies, showing there's no one right way to financial freedom.
Exactly. Finding what works for you.
Exactly. So let's dive into some of those different approaches. You mentioned Warren Buffett before. He's a legend. Even people who don't follow the stock market know him.
Right.
What's his whole philosophy when it comes to investing?
Well, Buffett's famous for this thing called value investing.
Okay.
Basically, finding those companies that are undervalued by the market, like they're on sale.
Oh, okay.
You buy them cheap, hold on to them for the long haul. Eventually, the market catches up, recognizes their true value.
So it's about patience, long-term thinking, not trying to get rich quick.
Exactly. Buffett has this saying, our favorite holding period is forever.
Wow.
He's all about those solid companies, strong fundamentals, letting them grow over time.
That's very different from someone like Paul Tudor Jones, who Robbins also talks to in the book.
Yeah, very different style.
Now, Jones is a hedge fund manager, which to a lot of people might sound kind of intimidating.
It can, yeah.
So first off, what even is a hedge fund manager, and how's Jones different from Buffett?
Okay, so a hedge fund manager, they basically manage money for like super wealthy individuals and institutions.
Yeah.
They use these more complex, often more aggressive strategies than your typical mutual fund.
Gotcha.
Now, Paul Tudor Jones, he's known for navigating those market downturns, making money even when things are going down.
So he's not afraid of a little risk.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He uses things like short selling, which is basically betting against a stock, thinking it'll drop in value.
So Buffett's buying low and holding. Jones is kind of riding those waves, even betting against companies.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And that's why learning from both is so valuable. Two completely different approaches, but both super successful.
Shows there's more than one way to reach that financial freedom.
Exactly. Find what fits you.
All right, so let's say you've done everything Robbins suggests. You're in control, you understand the game, you're saving, investing strategically, building that lifetime income plan, learning from the best. What's next?
Well, Robbins reminds us, it's not enough to just make the money. You got to protect it too.
Makes sense.
That's his sixth principle, securing and protecting your wealth.
So it's not just offense, got to have a good defense too.
Exactly. Building that financial fortress to protect everything you've earned from those unexpected curveballs life throws.
And life throws a lot of curveballs. What are some specific things Robbins recommends for this fortress?
Well, he's big on diversification, not just with investments, but in your whole financial life. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right. So if one thing goes wrong, you're not totally wiped out.
Exactly. Spread that risk.
Yeah.
He also talks about having good insurance, health, disability, life, protecting you and your family if something happens.
Those are all must-haves for sure. But what about protecting yourself from like a market crash or the economy tanking?
Yeah, Robbins addresses that too. He's all about having an emergency fund. Basically, cash set aside to cover your expenses for a few months if, say, you lose your job or hit a rough patch.
A safety net. I like it. But I feel like Robbins also talks about protecting yourself from something else, something people might not always think about.
You're right, he does. He talks about those internal threats, making impulsive financial decisions or falling for those scams.
Oh, yeah.
Building that strong financial mindset, discipline, patience, good judgment.
So it's not just about the right strategies, it's also about having the right headspace when it comes to money.
100%. Become a savvy consumer. Recognize those scams. Don't let emotions drive your investment.
That's huge. And that ties into Robbins' seventh principle, right?
Yeah.
Giving back. Finding that fulfillment.
Exactly. Money's a tool, right?
Yeah.
It's about more than just buying stuff. Robbins argues that true fulfillment, it comes from using your wealth to make a real difference in the world.
Powerful idea. Money as a force for good.
It is. And Robbins doesn't just mean donating to charities, though that's great too.
Yeah.
He wants you to think about your passions, what you care about, how you can use your time, your skills, your resources to make an impact.
Finding your purpose, aligning your money with your values.
Exactly. Living a life of meaning. And what's inspiring, Robbins points out, you don't have to be a millionaire to start giving back.
True. Any act of generosity, no matter how small, can make a difference.
Absolutely. Whether it's volunteering, donating, helping a friend, we can all contribute.
That's a great point. Now, we've only scratched the surface of what Robbins covers in Money. Master the Game. He goes into way more detail on all these principles.
Oh, yeah. He provides those specific strategies, tactics you can actually use.
So what's the first thing our listener can do after listening to this deep dive? How do they put all this into action?
I think the most important thing is just becoming more aware. of your financial situation, your habits.
Like taking inventory.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Track your income, expenses, your assets, debts, and then really think about your goals. What do you want to achieve? What does financial freedom look like for you?
As we've been going through these 7 steps with Robbins, what really hits home for me is that taking action part. Like even a small step is better than none.
He's really big on that, isn't he? It's
Mhm.
easy to feel overwhelmed with all this info, but Robbins keeps saying it's about progress, not perfection.
Yeah, like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step. But sometimes, even knowing where to step is the hard part.
For sure. And that's where having those clear financial goals comes in. When you know what you're aiming for, it's easier to break things down into smaller steps, right?
Mhm.
Robbins actually talks about setting SMART goals.
Smart goals. What's that all about?
So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of just saying, I want to be rich, you get specific. Like, I want to save $10,000 for a down payment in 2 years.
Oh, I see. Having that clear target makes it way easier to track your progress and stay motivated.
Exactly. And that achievable part matters too. Set goals that are challenging, yeah, but realistic. And they got to be relevant to your overall vision. If you want to retire early, paying off debt might be more important than buying that fancy car.
Right, prioritize. And of course, having a deadline keeps you on track.
Exactly. So you got your SMART goals, then Robin says break them down even more. What can you do today to get closer this week, this month?
Like setting up that automatic savings transfer, looking into investments, maybe calling your credit card company to negotiate a lower rate.
Yeah, those little things add up over time. It's like Robin's snowball analogy. Consistent action creates that momentum for big growth.
It's kind of amazing how much those small choices can change things in the long run.
It really is, and I think that's so empowering about Robin's book. He's not just telling us what to do with our money. He's reminding us we have the power to shape our financial future.
It's not about being a victim of circumstance. We have options and every choice matters.
Totally. And the more we know about those choices, the better we can create that financial life we want, one that matches our values and goals.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive into money, master the game, what's that one piece of advice you'd give our listeners? If they could only remember one thing, what would it be?
I'd say this. Believe you can achieve financial freedom. Don't let fear or those negative thoughts hold you back. Take charge. Learn as much as you can and start taking action. Even baby steps count. It might not be easy, but it's so worth it.
Great advice. And we've talked about giving back, and I'm curious for our listeners out there, if money was no object, how would you use it to make a positive impact? What are your passions? What changes do you want to see in the world?
That's a great question to think about. It reminds us that true wealth is about so much more than just how much money you have. It's about purpose, making a difference.
Beautifully put. And on that note, we'll wrap things up here. We hope this deep dive has been helpful and inspiring. Remember, financial freedom is possible. Take control, make those smart choices, and never stop learning. Until next time, happy investing.